Very good. How are you, Rennie?
Doing awesome. Good. We got good copy on your Audible there, so we're ready to go.
Test 1 2. Can you hear me, Rennie?
Gotcha. Got you good. Got you good. Got you good. Good. We got a good amount of people already on, so that's good.
Frank is saying hello, Rennie.
Right. Any feedback on my end? You guys good?
Good. I can hear you. Becky, you good?
Okay. Do a little audio test real quick. Is that good?
Got you loud and clear. Let's ask the people that are showing up. Can you guys hear us loud and clear?
How y'all doing?
Any feedback on the audio?
I hear you guys just fine.
Oh, look at that. She's in the office, but she's got that amazing background. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Cool. We're going to give you guys a welcome everybody in. Hey, tell us where you're from. We're going to start this off for those that are live, and we're pretty excited about it. We'll give them a couple more minutes. A lot of the West Coast guys are just getting off of work, so they're gonna probably really take and start pouring in here in a bit. So just want to tell everybody thanks for being here and really appreciate it. We're going to make this a little fun, a little interesting, and we're going to respect your time. So we're going to do this with purpose. I think what I'm going to try to do, guys, with my outline is so that we've got a class here, our 5 day. So instead of taking and pulling it up where they can't see the speakers, I think what I'll do is I'll just read my notes off of my phone. So that way you guys aren't looking at my notes on this one instead of looking at something that's a lot more interesting than my notes or me. How's that? So you guys are going to see me kind of looking down a bit. And the only reason why is because somebody be looking at my notes a little bit. You'll be looking at me, my side. So my 59-year-old eyes don't see as well as they used to, but still not bad. But they are a pretty shade of blue.
That they are. I'm having more trouble on the lights. Like it's too bright here.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, at least you don't look like me and you look like a pimple. I get sunburned and I look like a pimple. I look like a glass of milk with hair on it with a pimple, you know? All right. So we're on the hour. Let's go, shall we? So, hey, welcome everybody. So we're going to go over the PPF. So a lot of people may or may not know that we've jumped into and we've Oscar just did it a perfect. It's where detailing is colliding with PPF and window film. A lot of people don't know this. Many years ago, Becky was involved in the window tint industry. I was involved in the window tint industry. Done PPF back in right when PPF came out. I was laying a lot. We were peeling it off the factory portions because it looked awful. Putting new film down, and so this isn't something new. I've got Oscar's in the house, Becky's in the house, Carlos is in the house, and Jessica, just to make sure you guys know who Jessica is. But Jess is in the house, and so we're going to introduce them in a bit. They're going to take over for sections of it. Each one of us kind of going to go over what our passions and expert lanes are, and what we expect out of this training and what we're going to do with this training. So we've been involved for a long time with this. Our goal is to train you up in a way to where instead of taking you through the most advanced things where it's going to take, we've all heard the stories, and it does take 10, 20, 30,000 worth of film to burn through on the PPF side. Instead of doing that, what we're going to do is teach you in this class 5 days, 4 days of hands-on, how to take and do the services that you're going to be able to go home with, that you're going to be actually really be able to offer and make money right away. Now, you're going to take some practice, right? It's going to still take some practice, but instead of being months and years, it's going to be days, weeks. And that way you're not burning through 10, 20, 30,000 dollars of film. You're burning through maybe several $100s of film during your first exposure to PPF and window tint. But on the commercial residential side of tent, I'm going to get into that because that was my expertise. That was my area that I really, really excelled in. You're not going to burn through that much. And the profits are going to be immediate, and it's not hard to do. And the competition is low in most markets. And so even if it adds 10, 20, $30,000 to your profits every year, even if you don't jump into it heavy, is we're going to be able to teach you that flat glass stuff to where even if you're only doing a project a month, is the profits are going to be instant. There's not a lot of waste on that side. Shouldn't be a lot of waste. And the modern day films and technology has made it really simple. So let's add this to it. We've got a couple of scholarships available. Diane and I have decided that we're launching this. We want people to get into it. Why are we going to offer this? Because we know how hard it is to make it in business, and you need several sources of income. So we're going to take and help some people get those several sources of incomes in line by giving $500 scholarships off the tuition. Now, if you're Mafia members, Becky's going to go in this a little more. Get a hold of her because there's even a sweeter deal. We've already announced that to the Mafia, so you know what that is. So with that is that we also have financing available, and so for this class, anybody feel a firm is something that we use. I use it because it's interest free. So if I want to buy something a little extra, I'll take and jump onto a firm. Most of the time, it's 6 month no interest, and it's a pretty cool program. So let's talk about this. Is that Oscar? Why don't you go do the introductions? Talk about Carlos a little bit, Jess a little bit, so they kind of understand where they're at. And then we'll bring each one of them on as we talk about their, for example, advanced PPF realities. Jess is going to jump into that. And then we're going to talk about our strategy of a profitable PPF course this year. And Carlos is going to jump into that. And then we're going to go right down that list and share with you what this is all about.
Sure, thanks for that, Rennie. Thank you guys for jogging on tonight. No, we've been going on here for a while with these lives, but we're actually live on social media as well too. So thank you everybody who's watching on all social media platforms. We really do appreciate it. Like Rennie said, we got two of my favorite people on this podcast. Carlos Cadillo, I can't say enough of good things about him. I just spent 2 weeks with him in Mexico. Awesome dude, great in sales. We actually went out there and did some PPF while we were in Mexico, so I got to see him in action. A little bit interns, little teach on that side too in Spanish. So, Carlos, I really wish you would turn on your camera so I can see you. And the other one we have is Jessica Rook, which is just a powerhouse in itself. Her knowledge to this industry is just second to none. The way that Jessica introduces something, she doesn't play around. It's full force. It's to the T. It's very specific. And I think having both of them on here is an honor for me, you, and the rest of you guys watching, as we get to ask them questions and, they get to share with us their experience on how this can make others profitable. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here. We're here to build each other up. We're here to help you guys out. So without further ado, Carlos, Jessica. Oh, you're muted.
All right. So, hey, real quick. So let's go about the realities of PPF. So, Jess, we're going to jump in with you first. Carlos, we're going to come right behind you with strategy on what we're going to try to achieve at this training. So, Jess, what's the reality? You run a shop. You're a trainer for not just, with us, but with other brands. And talk about what the realities are and your own realities of what most people are going to face when they get out of it. There's a lot of great schools out there, but we're just taking a little different approach to it. And our approach is, instead of taking a burning and learning and burning and learning and burning and learning, is we're going to burn a little, earn moderate, burn a little more, earn a lot. And what I mean by a lot is maybe not the big ticket items, but how about the small items? So Jess, round us around, take us all the way around. What did you experience? And then I'm going to have Carlos jump into kind of those burn a little, earn a little, burn less, earn more. So Jess, you're up.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for having me on. This is an absolute pleasure. I'm really excited to really see detailing success programs and then the detail mafia really take on the film industry. The film side is something that I've been super passionate about for a while, but we're definitely seeing a shift in that. I think a lot of the detailers that are on here have probably received that call and asked about, do you offer PPF? Or, hey, the dealership offered me this PPF with my coating. Can you do that as well? And we want that answer to be able to be yes, right? We want you to to win those jobs. And there is a very strategic way that you can build film into your detailing business. And I think that, what's very unique about the detailing success programs in the Detail Mafia is the support system and the network that you have around you as a detailer. That hasn't necessarily existed in film yet. There's been some training schools that provide you with that training, and they may add you to that Facebook group to give you a little bit of support afterwards, or answer the phone call occasionally if you're in that pickle. But to be able to really build a support network around a new film installer and create a framework that allows that, detailer to now film installer be able to scale film into their business in a very palatable way is very unique. And so I think that's really the biggest thing that the detailing success film training programs are going to be able to bring, is what they're doing really, really well with support into this film side. I think that there's more and more consumer education out there these days on film. Social media has really taken a big play in that, and showing film and advancing the technology when it comes to being able to see what people can accomplish in a shop environment. And I think that the reality is vehicles are getting more and more expensive, and people are placing a higher value on protecting those vehicles because they don't want to keep spending that much money on them. And so if we can tap into that market, that consumer need that's already there for you guys as a detailer, they already want to protect their car. How can we protect it even more, right? And even on the tint side, how can we make that a safer environment, and how can we make those interior, materials last longer by protecting them from UV? I mean, there's so many different ways that we can focus on protecting and preserving, not just with detailing, but also with film. So I think that's the biggest piece. We want you guys to be able to kind of figure out where that falls in your detailing business. And then we're going to show you how to really be able to bring it into your business in that palatable way, starting with those things that are much easier to do, that you don't necessarily need the expensive plotter or the fanciest technology cutting software to be able to do. What can you do and what can you sell in your shop when you leave that training to be able to add on to that detailing service that will then allow you to start putting some of that money aside? Like Rennie said, it's not going to all happen right away, but a little bit here and there, you're going to be able to put aside, and you're going to be able to reinvest that. Oh,
so, one of the things that, until we get Jess back, and it's with the magic land of Zoom, is, some of the notes I was just taking right now, this isn't just about new installers either, because, we've teamed up with some of the best film manufacturers. Apex is one of our standards. We're going to do in some with Lumar for residential applications, something I'm really familiar with. But this is the reality is it's not just about installing. Is 4 days of hands-on, and I'm talking hands-on. It's not watching the instructor do. It's starting to cut film, going on to cut boards, learning how to cut. All these things that we're doing is that is going to help, and it's going to make a big difference with your profits. The other thing is that on that 5th day of training, it's all about sales profits, the sales systems, and developing all the marketing skills, and then the advertising to support that. So, Jess, we got you back.
Yeah, I'm here. One thing I want to elaborate on that too, Rennie, is the confidence, right? Because putting a knife in your hand and taking that to paint is kind of the opposite of what we think of, right? That's a scary thought. And so, there's a lot of trainings that you'll go to out there that, unless you're in an advanced training, you don't even get a knife. They won't even give you that knife, right?
Right.
We want to put that knife in your hands on day one, right? And maybe not on the paint on the vehicle yet, but definitely on those cutting boards, and getting you comfortable and getting you confident.
You're going to be cutting within 2 hours. You're going to be cutting within 2 hours. And this thing is, and you're going to cut on cars. There's the reality, is we're going to teach you that. People are saying, Jess and Carlos, they want to be able to see your pretty faces if you can by chance. And then, our new, you talked, Jess, and I'm going to jump in here, is that we're building a new platform that's going to be across the board for detailing. It's going to be for PPF. It's going to be for window film. It's going to be for residential, commercial window film. That platform is it's state of the art. There's nothing else like it in the industry right now that's going to do that. It's not going to just be support, but continued education. And that's really, really, really important. So, and so Jess is saying she doesn't have a good camera and that she's got curlers in her hair right now, so we can't do it, you know. Carlos,
We
oh no,
actually don't have the button, Becky. So if you, Becky or Oscar, if you can enable that, I'd be
yeah,
happy to jump in. There
yeah.
we
I
go.
got you right now, Jess.
Yeah, and Carlos is saying, excuse me, he's the one with the curlers in his hair. I got it wrong, so he borrowed mine. And so you know, Jess, let's go into the positive. So we're gonna go into cutting right away. We're gonna teach them, and before we bring Carlos on for this, is we're gonna teach them not just the base principles, but principles to go out and earn money. You're gonna see some full front noses being put on and so forth. But really, what's the problem with that level of training, Jess, that you've come up with when they, you know, there's companies out there that, you know, promise the world. Not all of them. There's a lot of great reputable companies out there, but there's also some people that aren't being quite honest. They're going after they're coming after you, and they're getting you. So what's the realities on that?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that does exist, right? There is a lot of money in this industry, and there is the money grab that you'll see from some other programs that are out there. I think, you know, the big thing that you'll see in those other programs is you may go through that training and you may get access to, you know, more advanced things like wrapping those edges perfectly and getting those, you know, matte conversions and things that you aren't necessarily going to see day to day in your shop. You may get that exposure in that training class, but then when you get home and those aren't the calls that you're receiving, or you don't have the confidence to take on, you know, that basic wear and tear job because it's going to require you to cut on paint a little bit. What I see is that people just give up. They walk away from it at that point. It's too much, or you know, they start seeing that trash fill up with film, and they see the dollar signs instead of the film that's going in that trash, and they walk away from it. A big thing that I, you know, really stress with the individuals that I train is you can reset, you can walk away, you can take a break, you can say some cuss words, right? But don't give up. Come back to it, get that mindset back in order, and just don't give up. You know, I think that being able to go to a program that has that support network that's going to tell you that same thing, that's going to tell you to take the break and don't give up and get back on it and then cheer for you when you accomplish that, that's huge. That just doesn't exist outside of there. So it's very unique to what we're able to do in this environment.
I love it. So Carlos, what kind of skills are we going to teach them in here? You know, what are they going to now this before we do this, let me qualify this, you know, is it might sound minimalist, but I want you to know these price points on the thing that we're going to offer you. Everybody takes it when it comes to PPF and window tint. They see, you know, the curved back windows. They see the big, you know, the C8 Corvettes, and they hear the big numbers of $5,800 and all that. That takes a while to get there, and even it takes longer to be really good at that. The other thing is you got to have some pretty advanced equipment and software and the space to do so, the right space to do so. We're talking about showing you services that even in the right environment, not being overly picky, but having some shade spots when you're mobile, having a decent garage to work in, is that we're going to teach you some skill sets that you mobile operators aren't going to be completely shut out on these days. Is there's going to be some of these things that we can show you. So, Carlos, jump into that. What are some of the skill sets that they're going to walk away with?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here amongst you four. You know, anytime I'm hanging out with you guys, it's great. I was just in Mexico with Oscar, just like you mentioned. But you know, to your question, we're gonna teach him everything. Uh, everything when it comes to, you know, installing a film, but enough so that they can start small. And I think that was something that you touched upon earlier. Really, what we try to promote early on is those baby steps, those first steps as you're handling film. This would be anything from add-on services. You know, you just mentioned detailers, right? Mobile detailers. They're going to be able to do the wear and tear packages for their customers so that they can add that package to their C8 Corvette customers. You know, it's not going to be putting on a full front, but they're going to be able to do you know, the wear and tears like door cup edges, door edges, the door sills, all of that stuff, enough for them to add on to their services so that goes from a smaller ticket item to a larger ticket item. So when you ask, what are we going to teach them? We're going to teach them everything, enough for them to feel confident to just go out there, whether they're in a shop or out in the field, to take care of all those services.
You know, I look at, like, you know, we worked on my car a little bit, you know, and doing the pillars, not real
Hmm.
difficult. Doing the mirrors, they get the beating, right? Doing the headlights. Like you said, the sills, you know, especially on those on the C8s and stuff like that. There's some BMWs that are a nightmare, you know, that you can really scuff up, but yet to get those small areas, the door guards, you know, and then not only with the retail, but what about with some wholesale accounts that are going to be doing that? It's going to open things up that normally haven't been opened up to mobile detailers or small shops, and maybe small shops that are one or two person shops that, you know, he or she's out there, they're busting their tail, but you might be able to add $200, $300, $400 to a ticket item, as you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, just being down there in Mexico, um, there's a lot less resources, and it was good to see that side of the film industry because that's exactly what they teach. And so just being able to experience that, we're bringing all of that we learn outside of the arena to our students. And like Jessica said earlier, we're going to be able to coach them along the way. The class doesn't end when the class ends. We continue the support even thereafter. So
I love it.
the, for chats, any kind of questions that they have, they have full access to us 24/7. So when we learn something, we'll continue that teaching for them.
Okay, so let's clarify on that 24/7. You know, 2 in the morning, don't call my cell phone, call Carlos's, you know, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
But you know what there is, you're going to have coaches right there, you know, and this isn't our first rodeo. We've been doing this with the detailing side for almost 20 years, for 19 years. And we're just getting real serious about it now. You know, it's the next evolution. And I'm really excited because I started life out as a mobile detailer, pulling a wagon behind my bicycle. But I spent my entire career is still offering mobile even when we had shops. And I'll tell you, there's a lot. And listen to me right now. Film's changed a lot. I was doing Porsche front ends mobile. Now it was in decent garages, and the film was a lot more difficult. And we were just doing front 1/3, but it was very difficult back then. The film wasn't near as stretchable. It wasn't near as pliable. It didn't look as great. A lot more difficult to work with these days is to be able to show you that. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you're crazy. You can't do that." Well, let's prove them wrong, is because you can do that. Now, we're not talking that you're going to be doing, you know, 26-piece C8 front ends, you know, mobile. We're not talking about one day that will probably happen because the film's changing a lot, right? But right now, you're not going to jump into that fish tank anyway. You know, you're going to start out with baby steps that are profitable. So let's move on real quick. Jess, window film. What's the realities? So
Yeah.
I'm going to lead in with this. A lot of SUVs and trucks, the back windows are already tinted factory. So how valuable are those two side windows?
Oh, the money. Money, they're the easiest windows to do too, right?
We'll get
They
so
typically aren't going to require a ton of shrink on most vehicles. And so, you know, the learning curve to be able to do two fronts and really a visor. I mean, a visor, a sun strip, you know, eyebrow, whatever you want to call it, in your specific market. But I mean, it's super, super simple to do with those, and they're an easy money market, right? I think that, you know, even if somebody doesn't want to change the aesthetic and go to a dark film, because of all the technology in film these days with the heat rejection and the UV protection, every vehicle that is on the road should have window film on it. It may not need to be a dark window film if they don't want it, but you know, a 70% or a 50% film that's closest to what their glass already looks like, but they get the health benefits, they get the heat rejection, it's safer for them, their skin, their vehicle. I mean, it makes sense. Everyone should have those two fronts done for sure.
It's a huge demand. And again, now I was in the window film industry, as was Becky, back in the 80s. And a friend of us that had oh man, Becky, step in. It was Johnny and Angel's company, and they're the biggest window
Yes.
tinting, automotive window tinting in Southern California at the time. We were the largest flat glass. But Johnny, when they split up, like many businesses, partnerships break up, Johnny went out mobile. This was in like 90. And he proved to SoCal that you could do side windows and visors mobile. Way back then, films completely changed. Application techniques completely changed. We want to take and stir up the industry by bringing profits to you guys. And this isn't BS. This is from people that have been doing this for a long time. And so, you know, you mentioning going right onto those sides, right onto that visor strip, right? There's so much opportunity. Look at how many, I want you guys to do a self-inventory. How many vehicles that you work on don't have the front two sides done? And now with film, you don't have to go dark. Is you can go with a very light film that's cutting out that UV, that heat, and you can't even hardly tell it's on there. And so you don't have to break the law. You don't have to do all these crazy things, right? So let's transition for a second to flat glass. This is my area. Is we were the largest flat glass installer west of the Mississippi. When we'd go out and Becky got to watch me install, every installer in Southern California, there was a window, and Lumar couldn't believe it to be done. There was a window that was 28 feet tall. It came together joined, so there's two of them. The problem was that 28-foot tall window started at 10 feet above the floor. So now we're 38 feet up. Couldn't be done. We did it. We did it. We did it. And we made a lot of money. I think we paid our car off with that.
I drive
You know?
by that building every once in a while and like, we tinted that window.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. Our point to this is something that a lot of people kind of turn their nose to, because I'm a car dude, man. I'm a money dude. And if I can take and churn, I want to churn things green, because Oscar, that's our whole thing. Not us making money. We want everybody making. I want my enemies making money, because if my enemies are making money, they'll shut up and leave me alone. They'll be too busy to go on social media and be like a little fly or gnat on my nose. They're going to take off and finally go make money. Hey, any of my haters listening, we'll put you in this class. Okay, you can come in, and in 6 months you're going to shut the hell up, because I'm going to even help you make money, right? Flat glass, we're going to bring real residential glass in, real windows in here, and you're going to lay film, and you're going to lay film, and you're going to lay film until you have it. Here's my bet: if you went home and you really worked it, you could, if you did a whole home, west and south exposure, you're going to pay for this glass in one house. One house. That's how profitable residential, and I don't care where you're at in the country. Now, smaller markets, maybe you're only going to do 5 or 6 jobs, maybe one every other month. You know, I don't care. It's another source of income, and we're going to be there to help you learn. That's the easy part. We're going to help you to learn how to market it. We're going to learn how to bid it, and we're going to teach you how to take and develop the advertising and to build relationships with other people. And so that's an important part of what we're going to do. So that's the first 4 days. Now, Carlos, technology. What are we going to be sharing with them? We got all kinds of fun stuff, plotters, software, all that good stuff. And then social media. You know, you're kind of a geek. What do we call you? Megabyte, right?
That's my. You're muted. That's my gigabyte.
Now, gigabyte. There you go. That's his gigabyte. Let's talk about
Yeah.
technology and what we're going to be on all these, on PPF, automotive, and then also on flat glass. It's all changed everything, hadn't it?
It has. We'll be teaching all that. There's been a few courses I've been a part of, and they don't dive into that. We will, but you don't necessarily need to have that to begin with. So we'll cover through all those aspects. We'll allow you to make your own patterns. We'll go through that. But when it comes to the software, the whole plotter scene, we have that covered, because we have the resources to help you get connected to someone trustworthy, get your plotter. I mean, we had a 3-day course. What was that? Maybe 3 months ago. And out of the 6 students that were there, 2 of them already got their plotter. So we were able to connect them with someone reliable, got them to get that plotter delivered, installed. calibrate that whole deal on the plotter. So we offer that support mechanism, and even then, we still on our little platform chat system that we have, we're helping them with any other questions that we have. So we go through all that. We'll go through that through the course as well, and really, we set you up to success. So there's no questions asked. And out of the group or our personal group that we have through the Detail Mafia, I'm sure there's a lot of other members that have covered, from Core to 3M to all the software. So we have that covered for you guys.
I love it. I love it. So now we're going to take an Oscar. One of the things that we talk about a lot is the misconception on how important a sales SOP is. So Friday, we're going to dive in and teach these folks some. Now, this isn't going to just affect your PPF and window tint business. This is going to change everything. We want to change. 7 sources of income. I've always lived by that since I was in my 20s. 7 sources of income, even if they're not big pieces. Every piece counts. So if you're bringing in 20 grand here, 30 grand here, 70 grand here, 30 grand there, is that people say, what the hell are you doing? I'm making money. That's what I'm doing. So Oscar explained the SOPs on sales and so forth, what we're going to dive into.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm a PPF expert and all that, but one thing that we will bring to the table on my end is gonna definitely be the sales, the business, the networking, and actually running through with you scenarios on how to sell all these services that my partners down here are going to be teaching, because that's the biggest thing. You can teach, and that's an industry. You can teach someone how to buff and polish, but if they don't know how to sell a service, are you going to make money? At the end of the day, everyone's going to make money. And when we break down that transaction cycle and that sales cycle and actually show you how to properly sell this and find the right clientele, find the right people in your community that are going to buy these services, that it's going to make you successful. That's what we're going to dive into. When you register to this course, we're going to ask where you're from, where you're coming from in this country, the state, wherever it is. I will look into your market and see what that market looks like before you get here, so I can have answers for you to help you with those resources of how to get involved in your community and how to sell these services.
Love it. So we're going to go over this real quick, and then I'm going to open this last section up for comments from Jess and Carlos. I want to jump into this real quick. Here we go. Is what we're going to do is the business side of it, the sales side of it, what sells, return on investment and win. Okay. The marketing, the advertising. A lot of people think marketing and advertising are the same. They're not. What you're developing to put into advertising to sell stuff to make more money is the profits to expect, and then long-term support. Is like I said, we've done this for over 19 years, almost 20 years. Okay. And so we know we've got this long-term support down. So, let me ask you guys this. Why should people, just in a simple, because we're going to honor their time. We want to get out of here. Why should people attend? Carlos?
Come on, Gigabyte, unmute.
I thought the space bar cleared it, but it didn't. I mean, look, there's a lot of classes out there. Really, this is a next step to something that is shifting for us, for detailers. A lot of shops, a lot of mobile detailers are starting to get into it. So there's no better time than now to jump on that ship so that you can go to the class, start practicing, and start making profits.
I love it. Question just popped up, and I'm gonna answer this now. It looks like we already had somebody going after the scholarship. I just saw the email come in. Somebody just asked, hey, can I attend just one part of this? The answer is no, because this is a 5-day class. We're going to put all this together. Now, the good news is later next year, we'll be segmentizing. We had a 3-day PPF class, and what we'll do is later down the road, we'll have a 3-day tent class, right? But it's not going to include the business side of it. Is these 5 days extremes we're doing. That's the only one that's going to have a whole day of business. Now, we talk about business during the 3 days, but there's not near as much time. And let me tell you, the skill side's the easy side. The business side's that's where everybody, 90% of the businesses fail, is on the business side of it. So no, we can't break it up, unfortunately, but we will offer other classes. Maybe what we'll do in the future is offer a standalone on the business side, but I just don't know. We're not to that point yet, but this is a complete class. We can't butcher it up. Also, what we found is in 19 years of detailing success, we'll call this PPF and window tint success, is that the camaraderie. You guys are here right now. We've got a 5-day for the detailing side of it. What's the camaraderie done? Does it help? Not of heads? Yeah. I mean, it's been. These guys are from all over the country, different cultures, different ages. That's a big part of what we develop is our culture, if that makes sense. And so to answer that, so Jess, let me ask you this: is that what can I expect when I get home? What's the realities when they return home?
Yeah. We're not going to tell you you're not going to have the trials and the challenges and the headaches and the frustrations, but what we can tell you is that you're going to get home, you're going to at least be able to, have those skills that you've developed to make your immediate investment back, right? That's step number one. But thereafter, you're going to receive that ongoing support to be able to fund that next step in your process. I actually started my film journey doing only wear and tears. It's the only thing I offered, wear and tear. And I only offered it for VIP clients. So you had to know it was on the menu, the secret menu, to know that it was on the menu, right? And then from there, the money that I made from that self-funded the next step. I got a smaller plotter. I started doing partials. That funded that next step of, being able to start offering full front coverage and some track packs and, some additional steps. That funded the next step of, getting race ramps or getting the bigger plotter. I didn't buy my first full-size plotter until I booked my first full vehicle job, which was years into my film journey, right? So, you're gonna get this framework that we've already lived through, right? We've done it without that support. So imagine what that can look like for you in your
Amen.
business by having that framework and by having that support network around you. I can't imagine where I would have been if I had that. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what this network can do and what that support can help you with. So if we can help you expedite that process to, follow the shift is happening to film no matter what. So whether you're doing it now or you're doing it later, at some point in time, you're going to have to start learning film. So
Yeah. It's like Colby said, don't forget there are good used plotters close to you, potentially. You don't have to buy new. Amen. And you know what? There might be members of our alliance that are close to you, and you don't need a plotter at all. You just have them cut it for you. We're gonna make this as real. Listen, I started. There's a green. I'm gonna step away for two. Okay, I'm gonna step away for two.
yeah, so I think that, to kind of go back onto the technology side and things too, I think what we see on social media, you see those installers that are doing these, crazy installs and, showing every corner and seam and everything like that. And you can absolutely get to those points as well. But the reality of it is, you guys probably aren't detailing sports cars every single day of the week, right? You're probably doing more daily drivers, those vehicles that are on the highway or are sitting outside in the elements. And so, being able to really give you the most hands-on experience with the things that you're actually going to see when you get back to your shop or, to your business, that's what we want to do. We want to set you up for what you're actually going to experience, not what Instagram's going to show you.
Let me tell you. So in my career, okay, when I started up, is that we just faced a pretty serious hardship. I'm talking when I was 32. Is we had really faced something devastating. I lost a lot of money. I got completely taken, and it was my fault. As I trusted somebody, I was warned and warned again. Our little empire that we've got going with detailing success, with all the shops I've opened, other industries. Diane and I started a transportation company that we sold and made over $500,000 on. We only had it going for 5 years. This little nozzle right here, that's all I could afford to get started. True story. It's a reason why it's on my desk. It humbles me when I look at it. But don't think that you can't make it, because this little nozzle right here is proof that you can. If I did it, you could do it. And we're going to help you get to that point of what's important in your personality and everything else to do it. We're going to do it one piece of film at a time. It's an add-on to what you're already doing, not a replacement, an add-on to what you're already doing. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about a second what's included. Okay. is hotel. You got to get here. We are an hour and a half outside of Ontario, California, beautiful city of Big Bear Lake, California. Is we're going to provide you with a light breakfast. We're going to provide you with a catered lunch. We're going to provide you with a catered dinner. Guys, how many pounds have you gained? Now, my wife is going to provide you with homemade cookies, and we are going to provide you with a homemade meal on the closing night. So we feed you good while you're here. You're going to get a certificate of completion when you're done, event swag to take home, and then some special film purchases from our Apex is definitely going to jump in and support this. Now, what's the investment? Now, we've got $500 scholarships, not going to give endless amounts away of those. $4,500 all in. Okay. You get here, $4,500. Now, Mafia, get a hold of Becky. We're doing a little bit of that $500 off. And so we'll do that. Now, Becky, let's go and unmute you. They're going to need to know how to contact you via email and telephone. So, hi, Becky. What's up?
Hi, how are
By the
you?
way, I haven't seen you forever. She's right like there, as is Oscar, right there. And so, it's and then I'm gonna ask Oscar, Carlos, and Jess something right after this. So stay tuned for this. So, Becky, how do they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. You can email me, Becky at detailingsuccess.com. You can text or call me at 909 470 4871. And you know what? I'm going to put it over in the chat so you guys can copy it. You can see it. So
drop the office number in there too, just in case.
okay, the office number. Okay. You can't text the office number, but you can text me or call me. Either one.
I love it. I love it. So hey, real quick, in 30 seconds or less. Oscar, how did we're moving this right over. How did our network change your life? 30 seconds.
I literally just talked to this class about it 20 minutes ago of how this group completely changed my life. And I owe it to you, Joab, and Justin specifically, because you guys are the ones who got me, mentored me. Everything that Jessica said, these guys took their 5, 10, 15 year of experience, put it into me, and got me somewhere in my business. And that was 5 years. I did not have to spend 15 years struggling into something that I didn't know because I had the mentorship. And that's how it's changed my life. So thank you, Jessica, for saying that, because you hit it right on the head.
Love it. Carlos.
I'm gonna have to piggyback off of that same thing. I mean, he might have done it in 10 years, 5 years. I'm trying to do it in 2, 1. That's the beauty of this group, the camaraderie that you talked about early on. Some of the classmates that I, went to the class with, I'm still friends with. I still chat with them every week. I help them out, they help me out. That's there's no competition. It's all about collaboration within our group, and that's something that I really looked for. I had a handful of classes that I took even before I met you guys, and then right after that, I didn't look elsewhere because everything was there in one house. So I thank you for all of you guys for just being able to share your knowledge and allowing me to grow. Learning from your mistakes so that I don't repeat those.
Okay, Jess, you're up.
Yeah, I think obviously what these guys have shared, but I'm going through some personal things in my life, and I had somebody recently ask me, "Do you really have 187 friends like that liked a post that I had put out on social media?" And I replied to that, absolutely, absolutely, I do. Every single person that liked and loved and did the hug emoji on the post that I had put out that was very personal to me. Of that, half of them are from this network. Those are individuals that are absolutely my family and friends that I will cherish those relationships for the rest of my life.
I love it. So a couple questions. What's a great, Justin already answered this too. What's a great starter plotter? I'm all about Graph Tech. I think Carlos got me hooked on that. I think they come in various sizes. I've been around that brand for a long time, and they're just solid. Class size, Brad, it's maximum of 2 students per instructor. So it's going to be probably 4 to 8 people. It's a very small class. This one is going to be a little smaller. So we max out at 10, but I'm going to guess that it's going to be, because of the specialty of it, I'm going to guess it's going to be, 4 to 8 people total. And you're going to have 3 to 4 instructors here. So it's Even if it's a smart class, it's almost one-on-one instruction. Now, let me tell you about these two instructors. They're the lead instructors for the PPF. Is we've got Jess, the Tasmanian Devil, that is 300 miles an hour, and when she works her way around a car, it's magical. And then we got Einstein, that is Carlos, that is the brains of the operation, and he takes in he's the one, he's the thinker, and so he kind of calms Jess down because she's going to move at a rapid speed, and you guys aren't going to be able to see her for a bit, and then the brainiac comes in and kind of makes sense of what the Tasmanian Devil's doing. And so we're good at teaching. Not everybody's good teachers, and we've got a lot invested in. They've got a lifetime of teaching in various industries and volunteerism that I've done. I've had a lot of money put into me. I'm learning people teaching me how to teach. And so between the California Guard and between San Bernardino County Search and Rescue, Blaine County Search and Rescue, and NASAR, National Association for Search and Rescue, I have gone through so much how-to instruction on when it comes to training. Oscar did a little bit of that, in the Marine Corps, and so he's gone through a lot. So you're talking about Becky's gone through a lot. What she brings to the table on Friday with conflict resolution with you guys, she did that. It's calming a lion down. Is how do you get a customer that hates you to love you? And she's going to be that. So we've got a really special team that are here and dedicated to you, that we're going to make things happen. Another question. So I hope that helps. And so let's go ahead and I think part with that. If you have any other questions, bring it up right now. And then I'm going to do a little wrap up. Let's see here. Hold on real quick. I just saw a note that I wanted to make out, and I made some highlights. So it's to wrap this up. This isn't what we do for a living. It is. We do this, and I think you guys we don't watch the clock, do we? Don't start at 8 and end at 5 every day. We start when we need to start. You guys have been here a little before 7, and they've been here. They're still here, and they're going to be here for another couple hours tonight. They're doing all their certifications testing tonight after our meal, and we don't watch the clock. We watch you, and we watch what you're absorbing, and we want to get through it. It means a great deal to us. A lot of people don't realize this. When a Friday night, whether it's window tent training, whether it's PPF training, or it's the detail training, Friday night I have a real hard time going to sleep if I do go to sleep. And it's reason why, as I go through my head, and I want to make sure that we perform to the absolute highest. And I'm going to miss these guys as I get close to them while they're here. And this might be the last time the 6 or 7 of us are ever together all as a group, right? And that kind of makes me sad, right? So it's an emotional thing for me because I know how hard it is to succeed. And these trainers right here, there's a reason why I partnered up with every single person here. Becky and I have a lifetime together as friends, and we've partnered up on businesses before, and we grew up together. Okay. Oscar, we're going to have a pretty big announcement coming out here, coming. Leave it there. Carlos, like I said, Einstein at work. Jess, I can't tell you how many times she's band-aided stuff for so many people in our group. And when I say we are a group, is we're going to start merging these two together. The Mafia and the PPF guys are kind of going to be separate, but at some point they're going to merge. Now the Mafia guys are going to already be with you guys, the PPF guys. That's how strong our group is. But we are here to make sure that you guys succeed. It's very important to us, and it's something that we don't take lightly. I let my emotions go. If you didn't listen to yesterday's podcast, go do it. I am not afraid. I'm too freaking old to worry about somebody worrying about what they think about with me. I'm going to say it boldly, loudly, and from my perspective. If you don't believe in it, I'm going to make suggestions. You make decisions. And like I said, our biggest thing is making sure you succeed. Whether you stay attached to us or not, that's going to be your decision. But even then, we're still friends. All right, closing thoughts. So, Becky, we're going to ask you, any closing thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. I just wanted to say, because Carlos and Jess are part of when we did a small little test class in April, and we have that Telegram still up, and that is one of the things that You have continued support. Those guys talk every single day. All those people that were in that class, they talk to each other, they send pictures to each other. It's amazing. So there is, since April, every single day I see stuff on there, and they're constantly talking to each other, supporting each other. They have a problem with, I see a lot of people with mirrors. I think mirrors is everybody's nemesis, and everybody just helps them out. It's great. It's great. And that's what we're going to provide to everybody in these classes.
I love it. Jess, parting words.
Yeah, I wanted to, kind of talk on those individuals that may be looking at, I only need this day because this is the only service I don't offer versus all of them. I've had the honor and the privilege to be in countless trainings throughout my career, both in this industry and without. And I can tell you, there's never a training that I have attended that I have not picked up something from, whether it be something that made me more efficient or something that shifted my mindset or something that I was able to apply to my business that, in the end, created a more positive result. Or maybe it's just the interaction that I had with others in the network that I made. You're going to get something out of every day of this training, even if you have experienced or more advanced skills in certain areas. Like Rennie said, the class size is small enough that we're going to be able to meet you where you are. We can work with you on more advanced skills if that's where you're at one day, but the next day this is something new. We'll make it work. We'll make it happen. Just get to this training.
And here's the other thing is that we just had another person, and I saw their message right now pop up, is they said, man, that flat glass thing sounds good. Everything else you're going to do is make that a lot easier. So if you start learning those side windows, you start learning PPF, that flat glass, you're going to be you're going to be a Tasmanian devil too. And so if that's a concern, each one of these are going to do is make you better at the other one. And so, all right, Carlos, last thoughts.
Man, a lot of great stuff was said here, but you talked about something that made me remember a conversation I had with Jess earlier this week. But we come from different industries at the end of the day too. I came from sales. I did some project management. Jess, when I was talking to her, she's in the healthcare industry and she ran these industries. So when we say you're going to learn something, you're going to pick up something from us, we don't just talk to you about laying film, installing flat glass window film. We talk to you about everything. So it's an all-inclusive program where I'm pretty sure you're going to pick up something that will allow you to think outside the box. And I was just talking to Oscar about this when we were down in Mexico, but we provide the fundamentals, of whatever it is we teach, and it's up to the next person to make that decision. I think you guys talk about that all the time, and so if you allow us to be your instructors, I'm pretty sure that we can set you up for the next phase of your business. Because at the end of the day, we're all entrepreneurs. We're not here to learn how to lay the film or work in the business. We want to work on the business. So that's what we're here to teach you.
I love it. I'm going to mention something right there that somebody mentioned is that somebody asked, what film are we tied to? We are very close to APEAKS. We're not going to hide it, but we have got experience pretty much between all of us. We've probably laid the film. And so we can give you good information, and we're not going to rag on anybody. How many different brands have you guys worked on this week? I mean, see this thing onto my chest, PNS? Is a lot of people think they're going to come and just work on that and just the drying board tool. How many different brands of tools did you guys work on? How many different we are brand friendly. We want to be Switzerland and support. I want everybody to move ahead. And I guarantee you, the other thing we're going to talk about is it's going to come up on Friday is detailing services. We're going to talk about coatings, paint protection, probably a little bit of interiors is going to pop up because somebody's going to have questions and we're going to answer them during that. So, all right, Oscar, I'm going to let you close it out before I say a few words and we'll get out of here.
All right. Everyone said great stuff. To me, it's the networking is us showing you how to be productive in your community and showing you how to maneuver yourself in your community to get these services. You could be the greatest technician in the world if you do not know how to sell, if you do not know how to communicate with your customers, the right customers, you're not going to be successful. And that's something we're going to teach you, is how to find those customers in your community that are going to pay for these services. One too many times I've been traveling where they say there's no money in this town, no one's going to pay for PPF. And yet I'm seeing all these luxury cars just driving around. It's have to go out there and find them. That is what we're going to teach you to do. We're going to teach you how to find the right customers for your services.
I love it. I love it. You know, Mike Carlin's sitting here. His networking is worth it alone. The key is teamwork, team skills. It's what your business. Can you learn enough about sales, marketing, advertising? No, these guys will tell you. How many times have you come in and heard an ebook going? I mean, I am educating myself. I watched Becky challenged me to watch something on Bill Gates the other day. Love him or hate him. You know, I can't remember how many books he reads, you know, a day, sometimes 13 books or some crazy number like that. I'm not that nuts because my ADD won't tolerate it for too long, but I'm a huge reader and huge studier. And I love history. If you don't know history, you can't move into your future. So I'm really into hearing about, you know, people that have gone before us, maybe hundreds of years ago even, and the things that they've done successfully, but more so even some of the mistakes. And I share a lot of my mistakes with you guys around here because those are valuable points. And I always tell these guys throughout, didn't we make as many mistakes, 3 million of them, because we're never upset. It's more things that you aren't going to have to learn when you get home. And so, you know, we want to take and embrace you. We hope that you'll come out. It's not for everybody. Again, I'm going to guess the class size, the max is probably going to be 8. I'm guessing it's going to be probably 4 to 6 is more realistic. Look at the trainers that are right here right now. We are going to wear, how you guys tired? Our insurance, which that's what we are, is we're insurance. I'm an insurance to Carlos and Jess on everything related to PPF. I lay PPF, but they're better, right? The only thing that I'm the lead instructor on is the flat glass, and then their insurance for us. Our insurance are amazing. I mean, they're absolutely amazing. They're going to do an amazing job for you too. Is that we're gonna change your life. That's our goal. We don't want to change your skills. We don't want to continue to make money off. Well, we do. We want to make money off you. I'm an entrepreneur. You are too. But we are going to wear you out, and it's not a bad wear out. It's a very good wear out. Bring your mental game. Start exercising. Start stretching. Right. Because you're going to need it. So with that, if you have any questions, reach out to Becky. You can always reach out to me, Renee@detailingsuccess.com. I love to talk. You're probably going to end up talking to Becky anyway, because we've got a pretty hectic schedule, especially tomorrow. These guys are going to finish up. With that being said, thanks for joining. We'd love to have you out. And if you have any questions in the future, we've already gotten some emails. This is going to be a blast, guys. Big Bear's a bitchin' place to be. And the shop's a bitchin' place to be. That time of year is really, really pretty up here. And you'll get to meet Indy. And if you don't know who Indy is, you'll know we're here pretty soon. So God bless everybody. Take care. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for allowing us to have a little piece of your day. And if you didn't catch the podcast yesterday, do so. On our training, we're building a site here shortly. We don't know what that site's going to be called yet, by the way. But Detailing Success is our main site, detailingsuccess.com. So we are out of here. Take care. God bless. We'll see you soon.